Parkinson leads Leicestershire to incredible win. Hassan Azad and Lewis Hill raised the Foxes' hope of victory on day 2 with a pair of centuries. Their stand unbeaten for the third wicket, and Leicestershire now trailing by just 68. But those chances took a knock, no play possible on day 3, and the match still in just the second innings. After a delayed start meant time was running out for both teams, the Foxes were quickly into their work, first firing their way to 300 runs, and then taking the value of the third wicket partnership to a huge 200. They were steaming ahead, aiming to reach the break with a lead, and that saw them past 350 with little to concern them. It was in the overs before lunch, when further personal milestones started to loom, that Sussex made the inroads. Hill out on 145, caught off the bowling of Crocombe. Azad would make it to 150, the mark reached with his 13th 4 of an impressive innings, and he was up to a new career best of 152 when he too fell to Crocombe, but the Foxes were now in the lead and headed into lunch 16 in front. Kimber and Swindles got the memo. They were quick in their approach after the break, maximum batting bonus points sealed with a boundary off Crocombe, but the Foxes wanted more. Kimber took them to the 50-run partnership, reached after just 45 minutes together. No Sussex bowler was left out of their assault, and with a well-run 2 off Joe Sarrow, Leicestershire ticked over to 450, and Swindles now had a well-deserved half-century, scored off just 54 deliveries. Another boundary then took them to a 100-run partnership, even if Swindles looked a little disappointed not to have cleared the ropes. Rawlins was having a torrid time. Kimber did what Swindles couldn't, 6 runs added with another expansive shot. That took him to the cusp of 50, a mark he reached with a single off Hindley after facing 45 balls, an achievement he soon celebrated by plundering 6 more off Rawlins. With the lead of 133 and the score up to 492 for 4, Callum Parkinson waved his side back in, hoping to set up an opportunity to charge towards the win. Apart from Evans, who'd fallen for a golden duck, all of Leicestershire's top order had cashed in on a wicket that had looked great for batting. This is a match Azad will remember for a long time thanks to his new career best score of 152. There was a downside though. They now had to try and push for the win on the same surface. And Sussex took full advantage. Orr and Haynes struck up an effective and enterprising opening partnership to quickly ensure the deficit was below 100. And the approach saw them put 50 runs off the board off just 52 balls, the mark reached with an attractive Haynes drive down the ground. The Foxes had their first wicket with the score on 57, all caught behind off Parkinson for 34. Sussex reached tea trailing by 75. Barring something remarkable though, this one looked to be heading for a draw. Ben Brown had picked up 133 in the first innings, but could only muster 12 in the second, out to Mike, flashing one to Sakande. Carter and Haynes had the deficit down to 50, but that's when the skipper departed, LBW to Barnes for 31. Rawlins was the next man in and preserved his wicket early before starting to find the boundary. The deficit was evaporating. It was down to 16 when Mike had him caught behind for 21. Parkinson then had Hindley. Perhaps there was a chance for the Foxes to force a win after all. They certainly had the momentum. Carter, out for 9, tempted into the pull by Mike. He couldn't believe what he'd just done. The wickets kept tumbling. Crocombe out LBW to Mike for a duck. And Carson followed, trapped in front to the spin of Parkinson. They only needed one more. With Hudson Prentice unable to bat, 9 was the magic number. And they got it. An incredible win sealed when Sarrow nicked Parkinson through to Swindles. And the Upton Still County ground erupted. What a way to sign off their home campaign, led by their captain, Callum Parkinson, who finished with 4 for 18 in a destructive spell. The victory will give them a huge amount of confidence when they make the short hop to Worcestershire for their final game of the season, while Sussex return to Hove to take on a Derbyshire side, determined to finish the season with their first win.